everybody. Hi, it's Debbie here. I'm back in my crafty den and welcome. I'm glad you joined me today, and I am going to do something that I've never made before. So I've joined a swap, and it's a stuffed or a loaded coffee sleeve. So this is a coffee sleeve from Timmy's, and I think there's a few of them in the States now, Tim's, but it's our Starbucks up here in Canada. So I'm going to do this as a practice run. The swap that I've joined, the theme is coffee and donuts. So I have to put together some supplies for that one. But I thought I'd do this as a practice run. And I've got some pretty papers out here. I've got some pinks and golds and greens. And that's the colors that I'm going to go with. It's almost, what is this? We're hitting the 18th of April and it's winter still. Ugh, gross. I hate it. But anyway, what I did was I used this. I put it on here. I traced it out. Actually, I did it this way. So I turned it over like this. And I traced it out in case I had any pen, and it would be on the other side. And for you Canadian girls that want to do swaps, I just did a Memory Decks card swap. Never done Memory Decks cards before, but I did it in Canada. Some of these things get pricey when you're trying to send them out and about. So we like to save the postage and trade in Canada, and there haven't been that many groups. So I found a group online. It's on Facebook, and it's called the Canadian Paper Crafters. Paper crafting swappers, maybe. I actually will put a link to that down in the description of this video, because if you Canadian girls want to come and join us, we have so many ladies on this site that haven't done anything like this before. Like, I've never swapped before. Can you believe it? Like, never. I've sent out racks. And I've just sent things to people, given stuff away, but I've never swapped. And I've now joined an ATC swapping group on Facebook, which I do. That's all over the world, and I love it. But ATCs are small, and I can still barely afford the postage for that. So I got this glued up pretty good, and I'm gonna stick this right on here. But anyway, yeah, come and check us out and join us. It's a group, so you have to apply to join, which is okay. I think when I applied for it, it was just a matter of hours, and I'd been accepted. There aren't that many people on it yet. It's fairly new, so we're looking to build up a group of ladies that want to do swaps, paper crafting swaps and all kinds of things in Canada. There's so many in the States. It's just too pricey for me to do them. So there I have my sleeve covered, and now I'm going to, while the glue's still wet and this will bend a little, I'm just going to fold it back on the same lines that it was before. And I cut that pretty good, I think, around there. So where's my original fold? I just go like this. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. So then this, so I'm just going to use pencil so I can rub it out if it shows, or I'll just put a little tick under. So I'm going to glue this right here. And I'm going to use my Eileen's Tacky Glue, because I'm afraid with this, our Timmy's sleeves are corrugated on the inside, which I absolutely love, by the way, because it's a great source of corrugated paper that you don't have to peel one side off of. I use these things typically for adding texture to small bits of ATC cards and small bits of art and in my journal. So I'm going to stick that on there like that. A little piece of glue stuck to my finger and there. So my seam doesn't hardly show at all. So I'm going to set, I might put a clip on this because I want that to dry really, really well. And I have clips right up here. There, I'm just going to put a clip here and a clip right here. And then I'm going to set that aside and I'm going to let that dry. So I'm just going to set that right there. Now, I need, for the bottom of this, I need a little bit of cardstock. So I'm just going to use, is this wide enough? It is. I'm just going to use an envelope that was part of, it was part of some Happy Mail. Or not an envelope, a card. It was just a thank you card. There's a little note on the inside of it, but that'll be on the inside and you won't see it when I glue it in. So I'm going to take my paper cutter and I'm going to set it to the side here a little wee bit because I don't know why it does that. It reflects my light so badly. I am going to cut this at 2 inches. 2 inches, I think. Like that. So I have a strip like this, 2 inches. Then I'm going to score it at the 1/2 inch marks. If I can here. So I don't have a scoreboard. So I'm just going to try to line this up on my cutter. And then I am going to just run a pencil down my cut groove. And that should score this pretty good. That's one of the things that I have on my list that I've never had is a scoreboard. Like, who doesn't have a scoreboard? And they do paper crafting. That's just crazy, people. I have a huge wish list, an absolute huge wish list. So what I did was I scored it every 1/2 inch and then I made an accordion fold. And I am going to, this should be good now. So I am going to measure this to see that, and it does. I'm just going to clip this end so that it's straight. And then I am going to take this and I am going to glue this little gusset right into the bottom of this, like that, so that when I open it up, things won't fall out the bottom. Yeah, and that should work. It should. Yeah, it's amazing how much. I'm going to do this first. Make sure that that's folded really, really well. I want it to open and close nicely. So I'm going to, my gusset has to be up, so I'm going to glue the outsides. Oh, I should have left my glue bottle laying down because it doesn't, I don't have to wait for it to come down every time then. So some glue there. Oh, this is why I put this sheet of wax paper down. Some glue there. And then turn it over. And some glue on this side. There. Now I'm going to take this. This should be good. I'm going to take this and I'm going to wiggle this right up into here I'm going to cut a little wee bit more off. Because I want it to open up, so I might have to leave a little gap at the ends, I'm thinking. So I'm going to put that in there. And then I'm gonna reach inside so I can push that so that it's at the bottom. Nice and even, because when I put my stuff in, I want it to be even. There, now I'm gonna push that down, and I'm gonna put these clips back on it, but I'm gonna put them both on here this time. Having a bunch of clips at your workstation is like having a second hand or a third hand, isn't it? So there's my little pocket now that I've made out of the coffee sleeve. Now on there, see how that's going to open up now a little bit and allow me to put a few more things in there. So I'm going to use my paper cutter once again, and I am going to cut my backing this wide. I want it to be as wide as the bottom inside because I want it to come down to the bottom to anchor it. So I'm going to make a mark here and I'm going to cut this there. And then I'll see if it fits first. So it fits right down into the bottom, so that'll be a backing. But then I'm going to cover this. Yeah, I'm going to cover this, and I'm going to zoom you guys up a teeny tiny bit because I'm having a hard time getting this whole thing in frame now that I've got it together. And I have a hard time with frame anyway, as you all know. So I love this pineapple, this gold pineapple paper, the foiled stuff. Wonder how it'll look with this. Ooh, maybe too cute. What have I got for my envelopes? I've got this one, and that one, and that one. Maybe not the pineapples if I'm going to put the hearts and circles in there. But I am going to go and look and see if I can find another piece of paper to cover my back. Maybe I'll stick with the green in the back. I have this. And I'm looking for a springtime feel. So what about something like that? That might be just really pretty. Maybe that's what I'll do. So I've got the size that I want there. I'm going to get my trusty old CD. How high do I want this to be? Now, envelopes. I have to ship this, right? What size of an envelope am I going to use? Well, it doesn't matter anyway. I could put it in a big bubble wrapper if I want to. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to make it... Where's my ruler? I'm going to make it... Oh, I bumped you. I was trying not to bump you. Put this in here. Shove it down to the bottom, because if I glue it all the way to the bottom, I'll have that stability. And then I'm going to measure from there down to there. So I'm going to put a little tick here and see how high. Like that. That'll look good, I think. So I'm going to use my trusty old CD to make that round shape that I like so much. I'm finding that I really like this curve. For most of the paper crafting that I'm doing, this curve seems to be like just the perfect arc for my size. There. So that gives me my basic shape. I might have to cut that. Oh, I'm going to have to cut it out one more time anyway. And then I'm going to glue. I'll leave the shiny side at the back. Well, it's not shiny, but it's shinier than that one. So yeah, I'm going to put my glue on here. Now, I probably could have used score tape and put this on as well. I think it's just your preference. I use glue for pretty much everything, so I'm used to it. So then I'm going to cut this out. This was an old Happy Planner cover, you can tell. Not a cover, but a divider. Not a store-bought one. It was one that I made. Okay, so there's my back piece. And that's where I might use the piece of pineapple, just as the back piece. Because you're not going to see the back side. Yeah, I'm going to do that. So I've glued the back on. I've gone around my edge with black. I guess I could use a little more black. With the black. Oh, I guess the reason that looks like that is because it's foil and the black doesn't stay on the foil. So I've gone around with a little bit of the black. I've got a couple of rows of this tape runner. This is really good tape runner, by the way, from, I can't remember if I got it at Dollarama or Dollar Tree, but I'm going to have to shop for that again because that was a really good buy. And that tape will grab it at the bottom on the inside, but up here at the top, I'm just going to measure. So right there, so a couple of bars in on each side, that's all. So I'm going to take, my trimmings are sticking to me, this glue, and I am going to, because this is corrugated, I'm going to put a good sized bead along here so that it'll get right down in those grooves and grab my paper, and because it's foil. So then what I'm going to do is take this, I'm going to insert it down in there to the back of this card, make sure that it's centered, and then push it down. There. And it shouldn't take very long for that to dry. I'm just going to put something heavy on top of it and let it sit for a minute. So that'll work. I'm just going to set that on there. And then I am going to be back in a bit because what I'm going to do is work on some items that I can stuff this with. Just a few surprises for the lucky recipient. Oh, hello, I'm back. It's been quite a while for me, although it probably hasn't been very long for you. A split second. So I have a bunch of stuff, and I have this, and it's dried now. So I am going to move you up a little bit, just a touch, like that. So there, I need to tighten the arm on that. So I'm going to stuff this, and I'm going to show you what I'm putting in it. And there's a reason why I'm going to show you every little thing that I'm putting in it, because this is going to be my thank you gift for the winner of April's draw. So remember how I say comment at the end of every video? Well, I do a random draw at the end of every month, and I choose a winner out of all the comments that I've gotten for the month. I choose a winner and send a gift. So this month, the end of April, the end of April, so it'll be the first part of May, in the first week of May, I'll do the draw. So I am going to put this tag in there that I made, and there's a video on that. And you can find them under Tag Tuesdays, I think. So I'm going to put that right in there. Now notice I did tie a little bit of a ribbon around here just to pretty it up. But I'm going to cover it because I'm going to put this in here. And then I am going to put this, it's just a tag-shaped piece of card, and it says start each day with a beautiful thought. And the winner can use this in any way that they want to. So I'm going to just slide that in there. And then I am going to put in this bookmark with the laminator that I got this month. I'm so happy I have a laminator now. So I just used a piece of the paper that I used to make this for one side. And on the other side, I used a scrap from my English Rose Garden paper pad that I did a couple projects with this month. So I'm going to put that in there. And then I made another bookmark. This one's just a little different. This is just a piece of laminated, it's a laminator pouch, and in it I just put some of these little, let's see if you can see them. Let me see if I put something behind that, if it'll show up. There. So that's what it is. It's just a laminator page, laminated with some hearts and sequins and butterflies in it. So I thought I'd tuck that in there as well. And then I have, to go on top of that, I have this little envelope, and it is from, I hauled, I think it was in February or March, I hauled a paper pad from Dollarama. Dollarama was carrying the die cuts with a view packaged paper pads, and they were project stacks. So this one was an envelope maker. So I made this envelope with that, and I'm going to put that in there for the recipient to reuse. And in that envelope, I am putting these cutouts from the English Rose Garden paper pad. I am putting some ATC sized scrap cutouts. I am putting this little die cut here, which is actually cut from the front of a card. And I'm putting in a few of my stamps from overseas. I think actually this one's from California. This one is from Slovakia. And this one is from Australia, but I just think they're all kind of unique. And I'm putting in both these little die cuts, a thank you and a yay. So all of that is going in this envelope. I'm just going to put the lid down, and I am going to stick that right down in there. And then I have another little card, and in this little, it's a little like a library pocket or a credit card pouch. I'm putting in this little thing of washi samples, and I've got 3 golds. One says good times, the other one's like a gold marble, and then that little pattern. And then I have this black and white stripe that says not just any other day. I believe that's what it says, not just any other day. And this one says love and laughter, time to dance, and never look back on that black one. So I am putting those washi samples in there. And then I am putting in this little envelope, I am putting this little plastic bag, and it has some of these little plastic sequin-like shapes, and they are hearts and butterflies. They're the ones that I put in that little bookmark. So I'm going to roll that up and put it in there on that side. And on this side, I am putting in a few buttons from my button collection. And when I say button collection, I mean I have these old mason jars, and they are loaded with buttons. I have that one. I have this one. I have a half a dozen jars that are loaded with different colored and varieties of buttons. Now, some of these buttons in these jars came from my grandmother's house. So I have no idea how old some of these buttons are. They've been in there since she collected buttons. And I'm going to slide that right in there, because who doesn't like to add a little button every now and then to an ATC card? So I'm going to slide that in there. I am going to add these two little bits of bling, which I am just going to slide right down in behind here. And then I am going to add to the side of this little card here, I am going to clip this paper clip flag that I made. Put that up a little bit so that that'll fit. And then I am going to clip this hidden paper clip. It still has hot glue strings on it. You have to use hot glue for some things, but then, yeah, you're picking the little strings off forever. This is a hidden paper clip embellishment. So I'm going to clip that right on the front, and you can use that on something. And then I've got these really gorgeous little gold bulldog clips. So I'm going to clip this on the front. And then I am going to put in this is the front of a card. I stamped it with my heart stamp, cut it out and blacked the edges. So I'm going to stick that in there. And then this little gold and pink heart cut out, and I'm going to slip that in there. So this is it. This is what the winner of my viewers, this is my appreciation to my viewers. This is the way I thank everybody for watching and being loyal to me, and for, you know, staying with me through this adventure. And I love everybody that's subscribing to my channel so far. The comments, I'm telling you, they're so overwhelming. They are so kind and compassionate and helpful. People give me tips and share ideas and let me know where I can find things cheaper than where even I thought was the cheapest place. And yeah, so I love this. I love this. It's like having this great, big, huge, extended family, and it's amazing. It's an amazing journey. So I'm going to pop that down so it doesn't stick up and come out the envelope, and I'll probably package this in a bubble wrap envelope, and it'll be shipped out to the lucky winner. Okay, so this is how I'm going to package it. I'm just going to wrap it up in tissue paper, tie it with a bow, and I'll put it in a bubble wrap envelope from the post office and send it out. And this is going to be for the comments on all the videos that I post in April. So it's not too late, if you aren't already a subscriber, to subscribe and go back and watch some of those videos and comment on them. Because what I do, and I'm going to explain that right now, I just randomly generate a number, and I generate the number between 1 and the number of videos that I post in April. And then from that number, I choose which video, and then I go to that video and I randomly generate a commenter. And that person will be the winner of this little envelope. This draw is going to be open for Canada and the United States. I think I'm at a point now where I can do the States as well right now, because I'm back to work, and this isn't that huge. The postage shouldn't be horrendous. And anyway, so that's what's going to happen. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to comment, share, and if you're not already a subscriber, I will put a link right in this corner. So bye-bye for now, everybody. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next